Hello, my name is HQ of HQ Reacts. Welcome to my channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share the stream, and click the notification button for new content. Thank you.
Hello, 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 hello. All who dare to come into my lair. All who dare to come into my lair. So, we're going to talk about 4 particular incidents that happened today. It happened today. See, this is one of those administrations, and it's not, I know the administration had somewhat something to do with these situations, but this is one of the reasons why I couldn't deal or did not want to deal with another Trump presidency, because it's always drama filled. You never go through a week and it's okay. It's always something that happens and then it's not okay. Now, this person right here, okay, we understand what they're doing with this person, with Mondami, but he's an enemy of every right-wing talking point, propaganda, Muslim, socialist, you name it. He's the person. But see, New York did something that a few years ago most people would never have thought was possible. This young man, one of the biggest cities in America, elected this young man, young immigrant, Muslim, Democratic socialist, as a mayor, Zohran Mamdani. This man who came up as a tenant organizer, housing counselor, who made his name calling out slumlords, fighting illegal evictions. He ran on affordability, taking on slumlords. And because of that, the powerful people lost their goddamn mind. Business interests called him dangerous. Landlords painted him as radical. But here's the thing. He didn't just win just because people were mad. He won because hundreds of thousands of ordinary New Yorkers, tenants, delivery people, immigrants, small business workers, young people believed that somebody could finally use City Hall to fight for the regular, ordinary, everyday man. Fight for the middle class people. That's why he got elected. Because he represents everyday middle class American. His campaign was by volunteers, by friends, dancing in the street, creators, organizers. All those people help him win. So in this press conference right here, you're gonna see a few things, right? Brand new mayor. He done ran up against the reality of being a mayor. He got a career fighting the slum landlords. The climate is he's being attacked. He's too radical, simply for siding with the tenants and the immigrants, the poor people and the regular, everyday, ordinary American. And a room full of content creators and new media voices, people just like many of us. Okay. So he's doing the thing. The question I want us to pay attention to is this. Is this just a new marketing strategy that he got? Or is this the beginning of government being used as a weapon against slumlords, junk fees, and exploitation? So here we go. Let's listen to what he got to say. I started it where he came in.
Participate more themselves. We can only deliver for all of us if all of us work to deliver.
Wait a minute, hold on. So thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot. He came in the room. I'm like, wait a minute, where did he come in the room at? Didn't he come in the room? Okay. He came in the room. Okay, here we go.
So, good afternoon, my friends. It is a privilege to be gathered here today in a building that belongs to the people of New York, but has too long been withheld from the people of New York. There is a reason that we are here in this room. For generations, the Blue Room has been reserved only for traditional press.
Are they?
But this administration is not traditional.
What's going on? Oh,
Here at City Hall and in the block party that we had and the block stretching beyond, I see faces now of New Yorkers that so many in this city turn to and trust, not just during the work of the campaign or the transition, but also during the work of governing. And when those in this city want to make sense of this city, when they want to feel the solidarity that sometimes feels absent in this city, when they want to figure out where to get some good momos in this city, when they want to understand how and if government works and who it's meant to serve, or whether they want to get involved and hold those in power accountable, they turn to you. They turn to you, and they do so because many of these New Yorkers have not felt the presence of government in their own lives or in their own communities for all that long. They don't know what it looks like when government makes a positive difference in their lives, when government fills their days with dignity. These are tenants and young people, immigrants and trans New Yorkers, people who speak one language with their parents and another with their friends. As we transform how City Hall serves the people, we want to also transform how it speaks to the people too. Not just with a newfound empathy and interest in everyday people's lives and struggles, but also with a new approach to communicating that speaks to New Yorkers where they are, through the people they start and end their days with. Here's the truth. We are going to have a lot to share because already, not even 1 week into this position, we are taking real steps forward in our agenda of affordability. And while I am so proud of the work that we have done and the work that we will continue to do, the progress we deliver will be wasted if New Yorkers do not know how their lives can be improved and are unaware of the resources they can now turn to. So I want to talk to you now, and I will try to run through this quickly. About some of what we've already done and how it will impact New Yorkers. But before I walk you through it, I do want to ask you all a few questions. Could you raise your hand if you have ever been charged for something you didn't really agree to? A free trial that quietly became a bill? A hidden fee on your airfare or a doctor's visit? A gym subscription that was impossible to cancel? Now, could you raise your hand if you ever paid more in rent while your apartment got worse? Broken heat, leaks, unsafe conditions, or been hit with extra fees just to apply, move in, or pay your rent? And now raise your hand if you've ever felt like City Hall or government in general doesn't really listen to people like you. Maybe you, if you needed some help, but hit a wall of paperwork. Maybe if you reached out to your representative, but you never heard back. Maybe you watched decisions get made without your community in the room or even being thought of. Or maybe you voted or even volunteered and never saw the change that you had hoped for be delivered. Now, I would bet that seeing this many hands in the room at each one of these questions is not a surprise to any of you. These all feel like near universal realities for so many who call this city home. It's something that we've become accustomed to almost. But that is also what happens when systems are built to be confusing, to be unaccountable, to be disconnected from the people that they're supposed to serve. What we are doing differently in my administration and what we have already delivered in the past 6 days since I was sworn in as the mayor of this incredible city is about changing that.
see, he walks through 3 everyday scams: subscription, junk fees, Rent going up, government feels like a brick wall. He doing all that. That's the world he ran against. He ran against that world. Landlords, banks, corporations play games with people's money, fine print. And notice the language. Things are complicated. He doesn't say things are complicated. He says systems are built to be confusing, to be unaccountable. That's a very different language. That's not oops bureaucracy. That's somebody designed this crap to profit off us poor people. This connects directly to his past fights with slumlords and bad landlords, where they stack the fees, drag out repairs. See, I ain't never really rented like that, so I don't know. I want you to notice is that he's building a moral fight or a moral cause or a moral framework to fight against the landlords in New York. Because I don't know rent in New York. Maybe rent in New York is crazy. See, the same logic that lets the landlords charge these fees, processing fees, junk move-in costs, is the same logic that lets corporations burn us up. Users, hidden fees, fine print. That's why you see such a strong reaction to this guy from the wealthy people and the political people. He's not talking crazy. He's not talking policy. He's calling out the whole business world. Now he's about to claim, here's what we've already done in 6 days. That's a big promise. Let's see what it looked like. Let's see what he's been doing.
So first, we've stood up for tenants by revitalizing the mayor's office to protect tenants, announcing rental ripoff hearings across all 5 boroughs, and announced a new commissioner of the Department of Housing Preservation and Development named Dina Levy, who has spent decades fighting fiercely on tenants' behalf. Second, we are going after fees and deceitful practices that drain New Yorkers' bank accounts. I am talking about the junk fees that add $20 to your gym membership each month, the $30 that comes out of nowhere when it's time to buy those Lucy Dacus tickets, the added fees that your landlord thinks that they can burden you with. And third, we are making our city safer and easier to get around. Whether we are paving the Williamsburg Bridge bump that causes so many bike accidents each day, or announcing that we are going to complete the redesign of McGinnis Boulevard as it was originally intended so that New Yorkers can actually bike through Greenpoint without fear, we are improving the streetscapes and the physical infrastructure of our city. And finally, we are placing New Yorkers, not billionaires or career politicians, at the heart of these efforts. On our second day in office, we established a new office, the Mayor's Office of Mass Engagement, led by Tasha Van Auken, who served as the field director on our campaign and helped us build a movement of more than 100,000 volunteers who knocked on millions of doors and made even more phone calls. This office is going to be something that ensures that people-powered is not just a buzzword or how we describe how we got here, but it is instead something that continues to define our politics and governs our decision-making and our policy proposals. We are moving at a pace that is as fast as the city that we love. In 6 days, we have signed 11 executive orders. Historically, it would take months to get to that number. Now that I know we built a movement around some pretty ambitious concepts: dignity, affordability, a government of the people, for the people. Now that we're in government, we have both the privilege and the responsibility to free those concepts from abstraction and put them into practice. Already we are seeing that it is not only possible to do so, but it is transformative when we do so. Because when people see themselves and their interests reflected in governance, they care more about their democracy, they feel like they have a greater say in their city, and they participate more themselves. We can only deliver for all of us if all of us work to deliver. So thank you for being here, for continuing to share the not always glamorous work of government with the people of this city and far beyond, and for holding those of us fortunate to be your public servants to account. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay, that's all he had to say. Well, damn, that's all he had to say. Tenants and slumlord, junk fees and subscription track, street and safety, mass engagement, an institution. What's going on? And then there's 11 executive orders in 6 days. That part is a brag. That's all that is. He's telling the landlord lobby, big corporations and national opponents, he's not easing up. He's moving forward. They love that guy. So here's the sign. I think we should do tenants start to see actual fines and repairs and protections? Do the fees go down or disappear? Do crashes and injuries fall on those? Is anything gonna change? I ain't never been in New York, so I don't know. Is it gonna change? If the answer is yes, then it wasn't just a speech. It was just, if things are gonna change in New York, then it just wasn't a speech. Let's see how far he can go. Okay, because who knows what's gonna go on. I don't need to hear the rest of his speech. I needed to hear just what he wanted to say on that. The promises we don't care about the promises. We care about what the progress is gonna be in 6 months. Okay, what is his progress gonna be in 6 months? We don't know. We got another one. Minneapolis guy. Oh no, let me do Marco Rubio. We're going to do Marco Rubio first. Because I don't know what the hell was going on with Marco Rubio and Rubio-Hegseth. But here we go. Hold on. Okay. So Marco Rubio and Hegseth decided they were going to come down the escalator and say something crazy. So this is the way power talks, because every American should listen to this bullshit. Every time we step into another country's affairs, whether it's Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, now Venezuela, everybody always want to be calm, cool, and collected at first. They say shit like we about to stabilize, protecting democracy, we helping other people, it won't cost so much. Then decades later, we still in that damn country. We still losing lives. Economy is wrecked. We can't get out. Regular people, not politicians, the army, the Air Force, and they carrying the burden of all this shit. So we roll this shit out. I want you to listen to what the hell he's saying. Listen to how he talk. Listen to how he frames this. We're Americans. Listen for what they don't say. Listen for who benefits and who pays. Because when leaders talk about stability, leverage, control, they're not talking about another country. They're talking about power. They're talking about money. They're talking about who gets decisions for millions and millions of other people. And them decisions are going to be made for us. And we're going to be in the middle of it.
So,
Why are you saying that's behind closed doors?
well, there's a lot of operational details that can't be discussed publicly, obviously, for obvious reasons. So as we move forward, we'll describe our process, which is a threefold process in Venezuela. I've described it to them now. Step one is the stabilization of the country. We don't want it descending into chaos. Part of that stabilization, and the reason why we understand and believe that we have the strongest leverage possible, is our quarantine. As you've seen today, 2 more ships were seized. We are in the midst right now, and in fact, about to execute on a deal to take all the oil. They have oil that is stuck in Venezuela. They can't move it because of our quarantine and because it's sanctioned. We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. We're going to sell it in the marketplace at market rates, not at the discounts Venezuela was getting. That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed in a way that benefits the Venezuelan people, not corruption, not the regime. So we have a lot of leverage to move on the stabilization front. The second phase will be a phase that we call recovery, and that is ensuring that American, Western, and other companies have access to the Venezuelan market in a way that's fair. Also, at the same time, begin to create the process of reconciliation nationally within Venezuela so that the opposition forces can be amnestied and released and from prisons or brought back to the country and begin to rebuild civil society. And then in great detail, we'll have more detail in the days to follow. But we feel like we're moving forward here in a very positive way.
So how long will this take?
That's crazy. That's crazy. What's the first thing they say? We in control. The first moment is critical. He's calling out people, making decisions. Decisions already made. Public backlash ain't going to stop them. They going to do what they got to do. Ain't no accountability. They rolling. And who going to pay the price for these people? This is out of control. We need answers. We need answers. Okay? Everybody needs answers. I get all that. But what the hell are they going to do? They going to keep us in a country forever? What's going on? Listen to what they say.
Some senators who were in that briefing describing your operation variously as that you're winging it, that there's no plan for Venezuela going forward.
Yeah, I know. They're going to say that. I used to be a senator too. That's what you always say when it's the other party. The bottom line is we've gone into great detail with them about the planning. We've described it to them. In fact, it's not just winging it. It's not just saying or speculating it's going to happen. It's already happening. Like the oil arrangement that we've made with PDVSA on their sanctioned oil that they can't move. Understand, they are not generating any revenue from their oil right now. They can't move it unless we allow it to move because we have sanctions, because we're enforcing those sanctions. This is tremendous leverage. We are exercising it in a positive way. The president described it last night. Secretary Wright will have more to say on it today, who is involved in running this portfolio. And we feel very positive that not only will that generate revenue that will be used to the benefit of the Venezuelan people, and we're ensured that that's what the case is, but it also gives us an amount of leverage and influence and control over how this process moves forward.
Mr. Secretary, on Denmark, sir. Mr. Secretary, on Denmark. Why has the administration not taken Denmark's offer to discuss the situation in Greenland? And
I'll be meeting with them next week.
But will you take military intervention off the table?
I'm not here to talk about Denmark or military intervention. I'll be meeting with them next week. We'll have those conversations with them then. And but I'm not having anything further to add to that
Can
today.
you clarify your comments to lawmakers? Does the U.S. intend to buy Greenland? Does the U.S. intend to buy Greenland? Can you clarify your comments to lawmakers this week?
Well, that's always been the president's intent from the very beginning. He said it very early on. I mean, this is not new. He talked about it in his first term, and he's not the first U.S. president that has examined or looked at how could we acquire Greenland. There's an interest there. But so I just reminded them of the fact that not only did Truman want to do it, but President Trump's been talking about this since his first term.
This is wild right here. This is wild. How y'all gonna go to another country, or how y'all gonna tell somebody you're gonna take over their country? Like, this ain't a moral dilemma, and this ain't issue for the American people. Nobody said they wanted to get Greenland. Nobody said they wanted to conquer no other state, no other countries and stuff like this. This ain't shit we asked for. I get it. You know, some people, he's saber rattling and he's beating his chest. No, but this ain't what we voted for. We ain't trying to do all of this, going to this country. People going to be at war for years and years. This is what he's talking about. Be at war for years and years. And I don't think people signed up for that. I don't think nobody signed up for this shit.
What? A statement last night saying that the military option.
You've lost a lot of weight. Good job.
They said the military option is on the table. So is the administration really willing to risk the NATO alliance by potentially moving ahead?
Guys,
military option?
What I think the White House said yesterday is what I will tell you now, and I've always said. The president always retained the option. Every president, not this president, every president always retains the option. I'm not talking about Greenland. I'm just talking about globally. If the president identifies a threat to the national security of the United States, every president retains the option to address it through military means.
Why the hell do they continue to lie when we know that you went over there to get the oil? We know that's what y'all went over there to get. We know what y'all doing. It's like they acting like we don't understand what's going on. Like, control the oil, control the revenue, control the leadership. This I don't know how y'all figuring this is America first. How is this guaranteeing any kind of security to the American people? I don't understand.
Diplomat, which is what I am now, and what we work on, we always prefer to settle it in different ways. That included in Venezuela. We tried repeatedly to reach an outcome here that did not involve having to go in and grab an indicted drug trafficker. Those were
They know damn well that was what they meant to do from day one. They meant to go in and grab him from day one. They lying.
Successful, unfortunately.
On Venezuela, the people of Venezuela are waking up to the same regime. Do you not worry about that?
Well, first of all, the bottom line is that there is a process now in place where we have tremendous control and leverage over what those interim authorities are doing and are able to do. But obviously, this will be a process of transition. In the end, it will be up to the Venezuelan people to transform their country. We are prepared under the right conditions, using the leverage that we have, which includes the fact that they cannot move any oil unless we allow them to move it. So
basically, we're going to be there for a whole big minute. We're going to be there for a minute. Long-term engagement means boots on the ground, more involvement, more costs, more political entanglement. That's all people hear, stabilization. What he mean is we're going to be there for years. This is wild.
Again, I'm not going to give you a timeline on it. We wanted to move as soon as possible, but we didn't expect this. It's been 3 days.
No, y'all expected exactly what y'all expected. You expected the American people to go along with it, and we wasn't going to say nothing.
since this happened, 4 days since this happened. So I understand that in this cycle and society we now live in, everyone wants instant outcomes. They want it to happen overnight. It's not going to work that way. But we're already seeing progress with this new deal that's been announced and more deals to follow. You're already seeing how the leverage the United States have over those interim authorities is going to begin to lead to positive outcomes.
Positive outcomes for what? We don't have any need for oil. The market is saturated with oil. The market has many barrels of oil. The barrels are at $40 or lower. So what do we need more? This is wild. We just going to be in another war. We're just going to be in another country dealing with other people that we really don't want to deal with. This is wild.
They're not for sale. So what will you
It doesn't cost us. It doesn't cost us.
The involvement, the U.S. involvement in Venezuela, how much will it cost?
Well, it doesn't going to cost us any money. For example, this oil deal that's happening doesn't cost us any money. On the contrary, and if it opens up,
no money to
well, these look, I don't have the numbers. What operation are you talking about? The entire thing?
Yeah.
Well, these troops are going to be deployed. None of these troops sit in a dry dock waiting for action. They're deployed somewhere in the world. If they're not here, they're somewhere else.
Oh,
just today.
Y'all see what he's saying? Y'all see what he's saying? That why you worried about them? They're going to be somewhere working, which means they're going to be in Venezuela for the long haul.
Forces not deployed to the Caribbean seized a boat, a sanctioned boat tied to the IRGC that tried to flee from us. That happened somewhere else. We are constantly involved in action. We have boats in the Mediterranean. We have ships in the Middle East. We have ships in the Indo-Pacific. These ships, if they weren't in the Caribbean, they'd be somewhere else conducting activity.
Yeah. So why y'all worried about them ships being there? That's basically what he's saying. Why you worried about them ships being there? They always got to be somewhere. So they always got to be working. So we always got to be at war. So why you worried about it? That's what he's saying.
That's what the Navy does.
I want to emphasize that.
This is
question from CNN. The question is never asked how much does it cost when they're in the Mediterranean or the Red Sea or the Indian Ocean or the Pacific. But now that they're in our hemisphere on a counter cartel mission or ensuring that an indicted individual comes to justice, now you're asking the question of cost. It's a disingenuous question to begin with. You're trying to find any angle possible to undermine the success of one of the most historic military missions the world has ever seen.
I can't stand this dick sucker. Here comes the defensive strategy right here. If a journalist asks a question, accuse them of being anti-American. That's the same way. I don't know what it is. Is it a reflex to you Republicans? Every time somebody defends something, you always talking about, well, you must be defending the other side. You must want to protect the drug dealer. That's a manipulation tactic. Stop doing it. Don't work on HQ. Healthy democracy requires questioning power. Calling every question undermining is what authoritarian governments do, not democracy. Why you question what I'm doing? Why you worried about what I'm doing? Why you worried about that? Because you're my government and I'm supposed to be asking questions. That's the first thing he jumped up there and said. Why you worried about this? Why you worried about that?
The level of sophistication that Senate just was briefed on and the House was briefed on, a classified level, is something only the United States of America can accomplish. The world is taking notice of that. Certainly Venezuela is taking notice of that. And it continues because two oil tankers, overnight, were seized by the United States of America, stateless or sanctioned, because the oil blockade, the quarantine of oil out of unsanctioned or sanctioned or stateless vessels continues.
Wild.
That leverage will continue, as Secretary Rubio outlined. So our military is...
That's crazy. Strong language, bold talk, but listen to what ain't there. No discussion of diplomacy. No discussion of humanitarian aid or analysis. No exit plan, no strategy, just force and confidence. Confidence without accountability is fucking dangerous. This is nuts.
Prepared.
Just like they winging it. They winging what they're doing. And they taking us right along on this bullshit ride.
Continue this. As he said, the president, when he speaks, he means it. He's not messing.
I don't care what he means it or not. He shouldn't be out here saber rattling, talking about I'm finna go get Greenland, or I'm finna go get Colombia, or I'm finna go, if Mexico don't straighten up, we gonna go over there. What the hell is going on?
around. We are an administration of action to advance our interests, and that is on full display. We're happy to brief the House.
Two quick things. Okay, number one, because we have to go, because we got to brief the House, and if we don't and they're pissed at us, you guys better defend us. That was because we were talking to you. I would make one more point, and it's a very interesting point. One of those ships that was seized that had oil in the Caribbean, you know what the interim authorities are asking for in Venezuela? They want that oil that was seized to be part of this deal. They understand that the only way they can move oil and generate revenue and not have economic collapse is if they cooperate and work with the United States, and that's what we see are going to happen. We got to go talk to the House.
See, and now the circle is complete. They seize the oil, then the new leadership must ask the U.S. for permission to use that damn oil. That is full on. I don't know what it's called, authoritarian. I don't know what it's called. That's full leverage. They got the leverage equals control. Again, this isn't about immediate crisis relief. It's about we only give a damn about the oil. We don't give a damn about them Venezuelan people. This is about building long-term dependence. They're going to be there for a long freaking while. They're going to be there for a long freaking while.
Is it a challenge to Vladimir Putin? That was a Russian plan.
Here they go. They ended it almost casually, like they didn't have to tell the American people jack shit. Hold on. They didn't have to tell the American people jack shit. Because some people just accept it. People just accept what they doing. Like seizing the resources, blocking trade, restructuring a whole nation, just like it's routine. They don't care. But nothing about this is small. There's nothing small about this shit. They wrong as hell for what they doing. They're wrong as hell. So let's listen to this guy. He was mad this morning.
Off of the scene. There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time. Having them there was only causing more chaos. Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic, and one that, yes, they created themselves. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better. But
wait a minute. Before we put, there's a dead woman. Every time something like this happens, we get the same freaking script. Promises. We upset. We didn't mean for this to happen. What's going on? Blaming everybody. I don't understand what's going on in Minnesota. I don't understand what the hell is going on in Minnesota. Shooting, deaths, fraud.
But I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave. It's on you to make sure that further damage, further loss of life and injury is not done.
See, now they're asking for people to leave. They're asking for ICE to leave. And I get it. You don't want to deal with these people anymore. Crowds are watching, phones recording, emotions already too high. ICE is there really to get the Somalis, to burn them up, to get them out of there. This is why this is a tragedy.
We're going to be working towards justice as quickly as we possibly can right now, and justice is what we've all got to get. Next, a message to our community. Look, we all know that the agenda of this Trump administration is to create chaos. Let us respond right now with our best versions of self. This is a moment where all of us in Minneapolis and beyond, we can rise to the occasion. We can show them who we are. We can show them the kind of courage, bravery, love, and compassion that makes Minneapolis, Minneapolis, and that makes America, America. We are better than a bunch of ICE agents being deployed to cities around the country and ripping apart families and communities. We're better than that. And so we are going to meet that hate with love. We are going to meet that despair with hope. We are going to meet that injustice with constitutional justice ourselves. And we're going to make sure that in this very difficult moment, we do not take the bait that these ICE agents are trying to create and that the federal government, to be clear, wants. They want us to respond in a way that creates a military occupation in our city.
People might get buck wild in Minnesota. We don't know what they're going to do. Don't take the bait. We don't know what they're going to do in Minnesota. Like, this woman got killed for no reason. And if y'all go back and look at the tape, you'll notice that her tire, if you look at it from the angle that I saw it from, her tire is turned to the right, all the way to the right. Her tire is turned to the right, and you can look at her car and see that the tire is turned to the right. So the narrative that they're spinning that she tried to run him over is a lie.
They want an excuse to come in and show the kind of force that will create more chaos and more despair. Let's not let them. Let's rise to this occasion. Let's show them something far more beautiful than the kind of division that they're trying to stoke. Let's show them unity of purpose, of love, and the courage of our conviction. Our conviction, to be clear, is rock solid, and it is for our neighbors, all of our neighbors. It's for people who have lived here for 80 years. It is for new immigrants who have made this city a better place. That's the kind of love that we're going to show up with right now. If you're angry, I get it. I am too. If you're feeling that kind of despair, it's understandable. Right. Let's show them who we can be. Let's show up with peace.
See, now he want to do the unity language, but he did say get the fuck out of town, didn't he? Get the fuck out of my town. So he want to lower the temperature. I get all of that, but who's going to forget this? Who's going to forget that was a young mother? Violence happened here before. Everybody is going to remember. He's trying to go from being angry to calming down. But see, they ain't finna calm down because they broke a woman off who had a kid, who's an orphan. They did that.
To march, to protest, to hug one another, to love all the way with peace. Do not give them what they want. Finally, we've got a lot of work that needs to happen right now to make sure that, first, of course, the scene was secured as much as possible, that we were able to get the victim, now deceased, to the hospital. We've got a lot of work to do in the coming days. I want to thank our city enterprise for the work that they have done, but more importantly, what they're about to do, because this is going to be heavy and our city has been through a lot. We also know that we're prepared to do right for people. Among them is our chief of police. I'll invite him up.
But we don't need to hear from her. We trying to hear from that goofy Christy Nome, which is who we finna hear from right now, because then they got their own little narrative going, how they want to spin it, right? How they want to spin it. But anybody that can see the tire knows that she was trying to get away. It has nothing to do with him telling her to leave. They told her to leave. That's what she was doing. Turn the car around. Okay, but now they want to spin a narrative. They want to spin something different than what it actually is. That's what they want to spin. Okay. So Miss Kristi Noem, this woman is dead. Fooling with ice. And before the investigation is even finished, this administration is trying to tell the country she tried to kill an ICE agent. She used her car as a weapon. The officer shot in self-defense. It's a motherfucking lie. Because you can look at her car, you can look at the tires, and know she wasn't trying to hit him. She was not trying to hit him. And that had nothing to do with him pulling a gun out. Her tire tracks were aimed a different way from that person. But there is evidence, because there's real footage and eyewitness accounts showing something different. The car was trying to get away. She was boxed in and she was panicking. They just shot at her. Here she is, Kristi Noem.
Good. It's called there. All right.
I got a call soon back. You're good? Come over.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. I want to start out by addressing the loss of life that we saw here in Minneapolis today. Any loss of life is a tragedy, and I think all of us can agree that in this situation, it was preventable. I've spoken to the president today on the situation here on the ground. I also just got off the phone a little while ago with Governor Walz and spoke to him as well. I want to reiterate first with all of you the facts of what happened today. At 10:25 a.m. Central Time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement were carrying out lawful operations here in Minneapolis. Because of the adverse weather that Minneapolis has seen in recent snow, one of the vehicles became stuck and ensnared in the snow. Law enforcement were attempting to push out this vehicle, and when a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day began blocking them in, shouting at them, and impeding law enforcement operations.
Well, you notice that these ain't the facts. These ain't the facts. These are administration talking points. Before the investigation is finished, before they done seen everything, they want to pull a full picture in to blame that girl. Blame her. Keep that in mind. They trying to shape the opinion and the perception of what happened with that girl. Because they trying to see, that's the problem I hate. This is the one thing I don't like about this administration. You trying to spin facts. Always trying to spin bullshit to say bullshit is good. Like you're gonna spread shit on a cracker and try to make me feed it. Those are not the facts. Okay? Those are not the facts. She was not trying to run over anybody. She was trying to get away. So anybody that says anything different, you need to go back and look at the tape and look at her tires. The way they are aimed, she's trying to get away from them, not run them over. Oops. Hold on. Here we go.
ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day. ICE agents repeatedly...
Wait a minute. She was stalking them all throughout the day? Is that what... She was stalking them all day? Is that what happened? Are you kidding me? She was stalking them all throughout the day? Wow.
Ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism. The ICE officer, fearing for his...
That's exactly what I'm saying. You guys better be able to prove that she was stalking you. She was stalking you all day. This is what she just said. all day.
Life and the other officers around him and the safety of the public fired defensive shots. He used his training to save his own life and that of his colleagues. He was treated at a local hospital, has been released, and is now with family. I encourage the American people at this point in time to pray for him, but also to pray for the deceased's family and her loved ones.
Wait a minute. Now let's talk about what the evidence outside of that room say. The available footage says the vehicle appeared to be trying to get away, not ramming into anybody. The motion looks like she panicked trying to turn and get out the way. Not an intentional run over of some officer. She was trying to get away. The shot looked like she was rushing, like she was wrecked, like she was scared. Okay. And the shot looks like it was unnecessary because she wasn't even by you and you pulled a gun on her. That ain't self-defense. Those tire treads ain't self-defense. It looked like he did it in fear, anger, malice, whatever, completely lost his goddamn mind. And the one thing she can't erase that's important, the woman was surrounded, scared, and boxed in. Fear does not make you a terrorist. Fear does not make you be angry enough to do all that. A defenseless woman in a car. Fear makes you panic. The way the car was rattling, she looked panicked. They already judged her. They already cleared the officer. You see that? They want us to just accept what the fuck they said. Y'all in Minneapolis or wherever the hell y'all at, y'all better be protesting for that white lady. That's for goddamn sure.
Today alone in this country, there have been 4 different domestic terrorist attacks on federal officers by the ramming of vehicles. 3 of them happened here in
You see what they trying to do? Y'all see what they trying to do?
Minneapolis. We've seen over 100 of these vehicle rammings happen in just recent weeks, and this must stop. ICE alone is facing a 1,300% increase in assaults against them and an 8,000% increase in death threats against all of them. In fact, the very same officer who was attacked today had previously been dragged by an anti-ICE rioter who had rammed him with a car and drug him back in June. He sustained injuries at that time as well. And let me remind you why we're all here.
Maybe he's incompetent at his fucking job. Maybe he's incompetent at his fucking job that he keep getting caught flat-footed. Now they talking about full crisis mode, storytelling, 100%, 100 accidents, 1,300 increase, 8,000 increase in threat, domestic terrorist attacks. But no timeline about this bullshit either. No data, no sources. We don't know what she talking about. And then she calls it domestic terrorism. This is wild.
In the city today and why we've been here. In communities across this country and here in Minneapolis, we're just enforcing the laws that we have in this country. For years under President Biden, tens of millions of dangerous criminal illegal aliens, terrorists, and suspected terrorists were allowed to invade our country over our southern border. They were allowed to steal, to defraud, and to perpetuate violence against Americans.
No, that ain't what we talking about. Stick right there. Stay the hell right here. You're talking about a trapped woman trying to escape, getting shot while she was trying to run. That is not the same motherfucking thing. We are not trying to hear this shit about Biden. We're talking about what you all did today. Okay?
Citizens. Regardless of who your mayor or who your governor is, President Trump.
This is what you call propaganda. This is what I mean when I say propaganda. When the public or the government try to sell you on bullshit, when they know fucking well there's a different version, they trying to sell you on bullshit. This is what's called propaganda. They're trying to propagandize all of us. We didn't see what we saw. There's so many damn videos. How you gonna lie about the video? I don't understand what's going on.
Promised every single American that he would make America safe again. He promised every single American that he would work to protect them from dangerous criminals. Since Governor Walz has been in charge of Minnesota, we have seen homicides go up by over 50%. That's also during Mayor Fry's tenure as well.
This is wild. One shooting, Biden, tens of millions of dangerous illegals invading the country. She just trying to pull in. See, we ain't talking about that. You see, she trying to pull you into her bullshit by saying, we got a whole bunch of illegal immigrants coming in. We got to stop these illegal immigrants. There's 10s and 20s and 30s of them coming across the border. We ain't talking about that. We talking about y'all killing an innocent lady. We talking about y'all killing an innocent lady. Trying to create fear. Oh yeah, she it was worth it. Her getting shot was worth it because we was trying to get them illegal aliens up out of here. That's what she trying to invoke. She trying to make you it seem as though she was deserving of getting killed.
Since President Trump took office, Governor Walz has released over 470 violent criminals back onto the streets here in Minneapolis.
Who? She is, wait a minute, she wasn't one? That girl wasn't one? What the hell are you talking about? That girl wasn't one. Why are you talking about illegal immigrants or whatever getting left or getting released? We're not talking about that. You see how they know they're in the wrong and they trying to spin shit. We did this because there's a whole bunch of immigrants being on the street. We did this because X, Y, and Z. This is nuts.
Plus, he has another 680 of them still within his jurisdiction that he could give to us today to face the consequences.
Goofy. Bald. You need to go look at the video and shut your ass up. If you ain't looked at the video, you need to shut your ass up. Specifically, you need to look at the tires. She wasn't running over nobody. She didn't run over nobody. And she didn't try to hit no law enforcement. Y'all just be saying stuff. Don't even look at the evidence. Just be talking.
Consequences for their crimes. Because Governor Walz and Mayor Fry refuse to protect Minnesotans, and instead they protect these criminals, that's why we are here. And we didn't just show up yesterday. We've always been here. But we're surging.
But here it come. Now here come the fear. Here come the fear, the fraud, the drugs, city crime. Trump won't let it happen again. Everything is painted as catastrophic. Everything is a crisis. Everything is expedited, need to be done right now. This is dangerous fucking narrative. And it completely ignores that lady, the bad judgment that police officer or whoever the fuck he was did, recklessly pulling the trigger, lacking restraint, lacking accountability, inexperienced officers behind the damn mask, too many officers with too much power. This ain't what you call safety. This is escalation, sold as safety, and we need to watch out. They need to be held accountable for this.
Operations because of the dangerous situation we see in this country, and because we're no longer going to allow illegal criminals to.
What do illegal criminals got to do with y'all killing a girl? What does that have to do with y'all killing a girl?
Damage and harm, to kill, to sexually abuse, to proliferate drugs, and to steal American taxpayers' dollars. This state has faced unprecedented immigration fraud. It's seen unprecedented benefit fraud. Individuals were allowed to come into this country and set up fake companies and fake nonprofits and divert billions of dollars away from American citizens and those vulnerable citizens who truly needed the services from those programs. This city has burned before, and your mayor and your governor let it happen. President Trump is not going to let that happen. He and our federal law enforcement officers are here to bring peace and to bring public safety and to ensure that criminal activity is stopped and that people who perpetuate it will face consequences. Since we have been here in recent weeks, we have arrested over 1,500 criminals off of the streets. Our law enforcement has arrested murderers, known and suspected terrorists, child pedophiles, and other brutal criminals that were protected here in this city. We should all work together to protect our citizens. We should all protect the men and the women and the families who live here in Minneapolis, who live in Minnesota, and live throughout this entire country. I want to thank you for being.
That's wild. 15, is she bragging? 1,500 arrests, murderers, terrorists, pedophiles. She never says how many actually was charged, how many cases were immigration, how many had nothing to do with violence. What the hell is going on? The mixed worst criminals with the everyday immigration violation people. What does that have to do with y'all killing this one girl? And then no questions about whether the ICE agents are trained well enough to avoid killing folks. Because the truth is, what we witness looks like panicked emotion, uncontrolled force, bad decision making. That should terrify anybody that run into those ICE agents. That should terrify anybody that got to run into those agents.
Here, and I want to thank you for focusing on the important work that our federal officers do and make sure that we're focused on the priorities of this country, and that's making sure that we're keeping people safe. With that, I'll take any questions that you may have.
Secretary, no, Mayor Fry called the claims of self-defense BS. How do you respond to that?
I say that he doesn't know what he...
Y'all hear that damn reporter said, they said that self-defense is BS. What you got to say? Shut up.
He's talking about. It's very clear that this individual was harassing and impeding law enforcement operations. Our officer followed his training, did exactly what he's been taught to do in that situation, and took actions to defend himself and defend his fellow law enforcement officers.
They gonna let this man walk. They gonna let that man walk from killing that woman. And she talked to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump said, let that boy walk. We don't give a damn about that lady and that orphan boy. They're gonna let that man, they're gonna let him walk on murdering that girl. When they know there's pictures, they're gonna make it seem like we ain't see what the hell we saw.
Can you expand too on the agent's injuries? The president said that he's lucky to be alive.
The officer was hit by the vehicle. She hit him. He went to the hospital. A doctor did treat him. He has been released, but he's going to spend some time with his family.
Can you clarify whether he was hit before or after the gunshots were fired?
I can't, but the FBI will continue the investigation and release more facts when it's appropriate.
Secretary, no, has the agent been relieved of his...
I just told y'all you need to go and look at the videotape. You need to look at the videotape. Her car was clearly aimed in a different direction. And that's the way that's the way a judge is going to see it. A judge is going to see it that way. The only way this man don't get charged is if Donald Trump steps in and say, don't charge that boy. That's the only way that boy ain't going to get charged. And I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump try to pardon him preemptively or some bullshit like that. I bet you that. Watch this bullshit. Watch this bullshit, y'all. Watch this bullshit.
No, we're following the standard protocol procedures we do in situations like this. When there's an officer involved shooting, we make sure that we get the facts and that we are getting the statements from everybody involved and make sure that investigators are handling the decisions.
Secretary, no, have ICE operations paused because of what?
No. You need to look at the camera from the left side, from the driver's side. That one camera that's by the drive that is aimed at the driver's side, and we see her turn. You look down when she first turns. You look down and look at the tires. The tires are aimed at her going to the right. Though the tires are pulled strongly to the right. She had grabbed the wheel and she pulled strongly to the right to get out of there. He is on the left. Her tires are pulled strongly to the right. She is not trying to run him over. I said, look at the tires. Down at the tires, left-hand angle.
What happened today?
No, we're still out on the streets doing our work to get dangerous criminals off of the streets of Minneapolis.
Can you give us any insight into your conversation with the governor?
You know, Tim and I have known each other for years. We served in Congress together. We both ran for governor the same year.
They gon' pardon that dude. They gon' preemptively pardon that dude and let that dude walk away from killing that girl. That's what they gonna do. They gonna make that girl. They gonna let him walk away, and he gonna be okay. Because they can't admit that they fucked up with that these ICE agents don't have experience. They can't say that they can't admit that, because that would turn the American tide against them. They can't admit that they got just regular old ordinary thugs on the goddamn docket and paying for them. They can't admit that. So they're gonna pardon this dude.
And have served as governor at the same times. So we were colleagues, and we discussed what happened here today. We have two very different viewpoints of it. I talked specifically.
Ain't no self-defense. Don't call me a fucking name again. Trash ass nigga. We in here having a discussion. Don't call me a name again. Goofies, go look at the tape. I just told you where to look. It's on the driver's side. On the driver's side, when she is looking straight, and then they tell her to turn around, and she starts to turn around, and her car gets stopped right there with the tail end of the car facing the camera. Look down at the tires, and to see the tires are cut tightly to the right. The tires are cut tightly to the right. And the dude is standing way over on the left. And she cut her wheels very hard to the right. Y'all goofies don't be paying attention.
Specifically about the fact that we have laws, they need to be enforced. He knows that I believe sanctuary policies have protected criminals and placed a priority of them over the citizens that live here. And he knows we'll continue to do our work, and I encouraged him to work with us. We've never had a cooperative arrangement with law enforcement here. Whenever we've done investigations, whenever we've done police work, when we've been doing what we can to bring people to justice for the crime.
Just because somebody hit you with a car don't mean you unload in their face. Stop making excuses for him shooting her. Didn't nobody see no leg in the air? I don't even know what the hell he talking about. When you see the back of that car, when you see the back of her car, you look down at the tire, and the front tire is cut all the way to the right. She was not trying to run nobody over. It ain't no self-defense.
That they commit, we haven't had the cooperation of the state of Minnesota.
That's why they're lying, and they're going to let this boy walk away from killing this single mama who got a 6-year-old boy at home. I'm saying y'all should be hitting the goddamn streets. She wasn't wrong. Y'all goofy as hell. No, tell me where the hell is it that if you get in your car and you're trying to get away, that you're supposed to be shot in the face? Cross face. Explain to me what law says she's supposed to get shot in the face, killed because she's trying to get away. Please explain that to me.
Or the city police here under the mayor's direction. If you talk to any of these federal law enforcement officers, they'll say that when they call for backup in a situation, that it's hit and miss. They were grateful today that the police chief and local law enforcement showed up at the scene and helped secure it to make sure that nobody was harmed and that the FBI could do their work. But I would encourage them to work with us, that we could form a partnership that would make sure that individuals have the opportunity to have a safe Minneapolis.
Secretary Will.
He should have jumped out the way like he did and pursued her in the car if it was that fucking serious. But why would you need to pursue her, and she's an American citizen? Why would you need to pursue her? She was an American citizen. Why would you need to pursue her? You should have just let her go where she was going.
Over here.
Really stand behind the use of force, and will any of those use of force guidelines be altered or changed in the future?
You know, it's clearly established law.
Yeah, of course. Since she was a city, she was following in line. They told him to get in the line. They told him to get in single file line, and she got in the single file line.
that a vehicle driven by a person and used to harm someone is a deadly weapon. Deadly force is perfectly lawful when a threat is faced by a weapon. So I do believe that this officer used his training in this situation, and we'll let the FBI
Wait a minute. How did he lose his training? How did he use training shooting somebody in the face? Somebody explain that to me. Your training means that you get shot in the face? She said he used his training. That's what she said. Okay. Yes, I get violence against officers is wrong. I get that. We deserve safe communities too. I get all of that. But this woman, from what we can see on that tape, she looked scared as hell. She was trying to get away. She was shot in the face. Not to save, they wasn't trying to save no lives, but out of panic and bad judgment. It's called self-defense. They gonna pardon this. They gonna let that dude get away with this. They gonna let that dude get away with this, y'all. They gonna let him get away with it. This is by an agent who appeared who was inexperienced and too reckless for the power that he had in his hands. And instead of questioning that, the administration want to label her a terrorist, an attacker, a threat, an enemy. They want to dirty her name. Instead of saying this was a tragic accident, X, Y, and Z, they want to make her seem like she trash. That's what they want to make it seem like, she's the one that's trash. And they know shooting first calls them a terror. We will defend you. Oh, okay. Let them shoot first and you're going to defend her. You're going to defend him. But we know the truth. We know the truth. And we should never let anybody rewrite what the fuck we done seen. Okay? Y'all, after this video, y'all get in the comments and give me some comments about this shit. Anybody know any kind of updates or anything like that? Give me some comment. Do you believe it was self-defense? Or do you think, like I think, that somebody panicked and tried to flee and was killed unnecessarily? Okay. They want to normalize that. They're going to let that dude get away with this shit. They're going to let him get away with it. Okay. And this story right here is being rewritten to protect that ICE who ain't got no experience, because they know he is problematic. So they can't let him be out in the public. They can't let nobody know that he's problematic, y'all. They can't let nobody know that he's problematic. So this is exactly what's going on. And they gonna let him get away. That's what they doing. They putting out excuses to let him get away.
Investigation to get it resolved.
So just to be clear, the shooting happened.
They told her to leave. Then they surrounded her car. Get out of here. Leave. And when she tried to turn around, she was panicking, trying to turn around, and she tried to get out of there, and they shot her. That's what happened. They're going to try to gaslight. They're going to try to gaslight y'all. We know what y'all did. Y'all left a single boy without his mother. That's wild. And then they're going to try to paint this dude as some kind of hero. They're going to paint her as some terrorist, some agitator. You see what she jumped out there and said? She said she was following them all day. How was she following them all day unless they were then behind? How is she doing that? And she got a 6-year-old son at home by herself, by leaving a 6-year-old son by himself. Lord have mercy, was the child in the car with her? She didn't have that child in the car with her, did she? Do anybody know if she had her child in the car with her?
Before or after the vehicle hit the officer?
I know you keep asking that, but that doesn't mean that the FBI is going to give you an answer today. There will be an investigation. We want to make sure that it's factual. What I would ask is that as we go forward from here today, that we all remember that our job is to have peaceful discussions. I'd encourage our local law enforcement and state law enforcement to work with us. We are going to continue to operate here in Minneapolis and in the state of Minnesota to make sure we're going after dangerous criminals. One of the key focuses that we've had here.
Don't nobody know if she had the baby with her or not. Wait till Cash Patel run it. Yeah. Let's see. I'm telling y'all, they're going to let those people walk on breaking this lady off. They're going to let them people walk just to cover for that dude, because they got to cover for him. Because if they say he didn't have experience, they say he wasn't properly trained, they say anything like that, they're going to get sued. But they should get their ass out of there. They should get their ass out of there. Because y'all just killed an innocent human being. And she wasn't even no immigrant. And she wasn't none of that. And y'all unalived her for no reason. For no reason.
Is a focus on individuals who are sexual predators and are involved in child exploitation. When I was just here yesterday, we arrested individuals who were charged with criminal assault and sexual assault and people that exploited children. Why would you want to keep them on your streets?
Hey, everybody. This is we want to know, is she married or did her husband die? Or is she married again? Or is she single? Somebody tell KK Goofy if she's married or did her husband die. Which one is it? Because Goofy apparently wasn't here when we said what happened. Her husband died. Goofy. She ain't married. Goofy.
President Trump has promised to go after the worst of the worst, and that's exactly what we're doing in Minneapolis. By not working with us, Governor Walz and Mayor Frey are putting those criminals and prioritizing them over our children.
She got one kid and her husband died in She got one kid and her husband died in 2023.
Said that he is not giving her any heads up when there is.
And that's simply not true. He said that to me on the phone too. So I'll get him the documentation that he needs so that he knows that we would love to coordinate with him. He doesn't give us access to any.
She had a liquor license?
Information on criminal.
Oh, that's who was in the car screaming. That's who was in the car screaming. Somebody else was in the car screaming.
Let us know who he's detained, doesn't honor our detainers, and has individuals and criminals in his jurisdiction that he won't turn over us today too. Yes.
You mentioned that the officer involved today was once before raped by a vehicle. Can you explain the difference between that instance and today? Was a firearm discharged then? If not, what was the big difference?
I won't speak to that case right now, but we can get you the details and the information on that. But the facts of the matter is he's an experienced officer. He's been in situations like this before, and he certainly has been out there and followed his training today.
Given the threat of vehicle encounters, are you going to change the way things?
You know, people need to stop using their vehicles as weapons. This domestic act of terrorism to use your vehicle to try to kill law enforcement officers is going to stop. And I'm asking the Department of Justice.
She said the videos where people use cars to try to kill people, y'all see the narrative they trying to spin, that she's a domestic terrorist, that she tried to hurt this person, that's what they trying to do. They're going to press it under the rug. They're going to sweep it under the rug. They're going to sweep it under the rug. Wow. She said the days of people hitting other people with cars is over. They're going to sweep it under the rug, y'all. Sweep it under the rug.
To prosecute it as domestic terrorism because it's clear that it's being coordinated. People are being trained and told how to use their vehicles to impede law enforcement operations and then to run over anybody who gets in their way.
Wait a minute. When the hell did this start? When the hell did people start training with their cars in order to stop ICE? When this, What is she saying? What's going on? Wow. Look at the way they talking.
While they go out there and try to disrupt peace and public safety, and Americans deserve better.
So can you say why they were by the National Guard?
That hasn't been a part of the discussion. I know Governor Walz mentioned some of that earlier in his press conference, but we've got law enforcement officers here that will continue to work, and we're hopeful that the public recognizes that the work that we do every day makes America safe again. With that.
operation that was happening at 34th Portland?
We had a law enforcement.
Y'all make sure y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. Hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons, please and thank you. We appreciate it. We get there's the whole point is it don't matter what she was doing. She didn't deserve to get broke off like that. She didn't deserve to lose her life just because she was in her car. She didn't deserve for that to happen. Now they're trying to spin the narrative that she was trying to run him over, and it's clear that her tires were turned to the right. If you look at the back of the car, it will show you that back of the car, and then look at the wheel, it will show you that it's turned far enough away that she was trying to avoid hitting anybody. But they trying to spin that narrative that she was trying to run him over. She was trying to hurt him, knowing full well that ain't what happened. Now we got to deal with the consequences of them lying. Look at the front end. No, you look at the back end of the car. Look at the back end of the car, and then look at her tire next to the driver's side. The tire's cut all the way to the right. That means she tried to turn as hard as she could to get out of the way. And she didn't deserve to get killed regardless of what she did with a car. That's what y'all don't get. We ain't defending, we defending the fact that she shouldn't be dead because of a car.
Enforcement officers.
Y'all defending the fact that she should be dead.
That were out there doing an enforcement action, and a vehicle got stuck in the snow, and so they had called for other people to come and help them get that vehicle out. Those officers were trying to free the vehicle when the harassment started, when the protesters were out there impeding their vehicles and preventing them from leaving the scene.
Was it at a particular home or business in that intersection?
I won't speak to that.
Can you speak to the crime that person maybe committed that you were going after? And you mentioned sexual crime. Okay. Will body camera footage be released?
I will let the FBI decide.
Were they on target today when they were in that neighborhood?
They were returning back to headquarters, I believe, to start a new operation, had just completed one. Well, thank you. What's that? I was one of the vehicles that ICE officers were using. But remember, when we operate in a task force model. So we have other federal agencies that work with us, and we're very grateful for that. We have CBP officers, the FBI, DEA, ATF, all of those all work with us every day in a task force model, and we appreciate it. We'd love to have the state police, and we'd also love to have the Minneapolis police chief and his team be alongside of us while we're out there doing those enforcement operations. With that, we'll get you more information as it is revealed, but thank you and everybody. Let's work together to make sure that we can continue to help the city be safer, get more criminals off the streets, and ensure that our public has the opportunity to pursue the American dream in a city they can be proud of. Thank you.
Oh, wow. There you go. There you go. There you go. Hold on. There you go. Streaming YouTube. Watch this. This is what I want to show you. Okay, I'm just going to put this on the screen. Like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. I got this on the board. You all know what it is. You all know what it is. Now, this is what they're going to do. They're going to try to pin this on that girl. They're going to pin all of this on that girl. She deserved what she got. She was in the way. She shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z. She shouldn't have been where she was at. She was a domestic terrorist. She was trying to evade us. She was in the car learning how to get out of the way. She was trying to get out of the way. The dude was standing in front of the car. Maybe he was standing in front of the car and she stopped so she wouldn't hit him. And she tried to make sure that she didn't run. She wasn't trying to run over there. She backed up to make sure she made high speed to run over the agent. Are you crazy? Ain't nobody doing that on their own regular time. Most people are trying to get away from the police. They ain't trying to run nobody over. Okay. And maybe, was it cold? Was it ice outside? Was it ice on the ground? I don't know. I'm just asking you all. Was it ice on the ground? Wait a minute. Maybe it was ice on the ground. Maybe that's why she didn't have no traction. That could be it. We don't know. All I know is somebody is somebody's dead. And there's no misinformation. Everybody can see the fucking video, DB. Everybody can see the video. Otherwise, you're sadly misinformed. I didn't watch the video all the way. I don't like shit like that. I don't like seeing people get hurt or killed or blah, blah, blah. I don't like seeing none of that. Okay? All I know is there's no law on this planet that says that you're supposed to lose your life because you you get in the car and you trying to get away. There's nowhere that said you got to lose your life because of that. And she lost her life because of that. Okay. So I saw the back of the car. I saw the tires twisted. I saw the tires twisted hard to the right with her trying to get away. Okay. Nobody says anything about getting out of the car. Otherwise, I'm going to kill you. Nobody. You got to get out of the car. Otherwise, I'm going to kill you. That's crazy. I wanted to give that thing. But here, check this out. I got another one. I got the one thing I got to show you. This crazy right here. Where is this at? Oh, I got to make it bigger. Okay, here we go. Uno momento. Here we go. Y'all seen this? Have y'all seen this? The thing that they put at the White House? Some kind of thing that they put at the White House that has all the people that what is it? All the people that what did they do? Were on January 6th, 2021. All the people that had spoke out about January 6th, 2021. And now they got them up on a poster in the White House saying that trying to rewrite history. Okay. Trying to rewrite history. Okay. And this young lady, hold on. Let me get this. The flyer. Let me get the flyer. Can I get the flyer? Hold on. From the White House. Okay, here we go. The flyer from the White House. Hold on. It's the weird thing. That weird thing that we had. Okay. Not the flyer. They know what I'm talking about. Shit. And then they give me the wrong thing. Hold on. Just give me a sec. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up so I can move it. The flyer this morning. What is it? What is it called? The flyer about Jan 6. Okay, here we go. Here we go. But that's a thing. Okay, here it is. January 6. Okay, now I got it. Y'all hold on. Now I got it. Hold on. Remove that one. Move that one. Hold on. Let me add this other one. Here it is. Close this. Close this. This. Some shit that they did. Some shit that they did on the White House thing. White House website. So President Trump took decisive action to pardon the January 6 defendants who were unfairly targeted, overcharged, and used as political examples. They were not protected by the leaders who failed them. They were punished to cover incompetence. On his first day back in office, January 20th, 2025, President Trump issued a sweeping blanket pardon and commutations for nearly 1,600 patriotic Americans prosecuted for their presence at the Capitol. Many mere trespassers or peaceful protesters treated as insurrectionists by a weaponized Biden DOJ. He fully pardoned most, commuted sentences, and ordered immediate release of those still in prison, ending years of harsh solitary confinement, denied due process, and family separation for exercising their First Amendment rights. Thousands of Americans paid the price for political failures they did not create. This is a White House trying to change the narrative on some shit that they did. The president did this shit. Thousands of Americans paid the price for political failures. Since January 6th, Nancy Pelosi spent over 3 years and nearly $20 million in taxpayer funds on her partisan select committee, producing a scripted TV spectacle to fabricate an insurrection narrative and pin all the blame on President Trump. All the blame belongs on you. Okay. President Trump. Video and audio recordings, including unaired HBO footage from her own daughter, shows Nancy Pelosi repeatedly acknowledging responsibility for the catastrophic security failures, admitting we have totally failed. I take full responsibility for not having the National Guard pre-deployed, despite intelligence warnings and President Trump's offers of troops that were ignored under her leadership. She was asking him, see the way the narrative, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. The Democrats masterfully reversed reality. No, we didn't reverse reality. You want us to say we didn't see what we saw. Try to reverse reality after January 6th, branding peaceful patriotic protesters as insurrectionists and framing the event as a violent coup attempt orchestrated by Trump, despite no evidence of armed rebellion or intent to overthrow the government. These people have reoffended. These people have done more stuff after they got released. Okay. This is the goofy part. In truth, it was Democrats who staged the real insurrection. Democrats did it by certifying a fraud-ridden election, ignoring widespread irregularities, and weaponizing federal agencies to hunt down dissenters, all while Pelosi's own security lapses invited the chaos they later exploited to seize and consolidate power. This gaslighting narrative allowed them to persecute innocent Americans, silence opposition, and distract from their own role in undermining democracy. See, I can't with this president. I can't with this president. I cannot with this president. I have no respect for it. No respect for it whatsoever. And the plaque that's supposed to be honoring the soldier, the policemen and guards of the Capitol, that plaque is sitting in a room collecting dust because Mike Johnson ain't put it up yet to honor the people that it's supposed to honor that work in that building. This is wild. This is wild. But I just wanted to show y'all that this is wild. I'll read some of this later. I'll have some of it later put somewhere else. But there's a timeline on this garbage. Okay, this is the timeline on this garbage. This is nuts. It's a whole nother lie and a whole nother narrative. But it is what it is. You all hit the like, share, and subscribe button. I appreciate it. This is our content, and we did what we did tonight. We're gonna have more news tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have more news tomorrow. And I will see y'all tomorrow. It's been a long day. I will see you all tomorrow. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all of it. I do. I appreciate all of it. I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'll be back here tomorrow. Yes, I will. Let's see what they're going to spin about this girl. Let's see what they're going to spin about this girl. What they going to say. How they going to explain themselves. I don't understand how they going to let them get away with killing that girl. Y'all know that. They going to let them get away with killing that girl.